Welcome to Deep Thought. It was in me all along. Now, this I'm gonna tell y'all a story, and this is mainly about myself. But then I'm sharing it because anybody can learn from it. Because as I'm saying, it was in me all along. It's in you all along. Now, what I'm saying is, people know me now. They know me for my books. They know me for doing podcasts, for doing videos, uh, basically growing all around social media presence. I've met people and say, "Hey, I've heard of you and everything," and I can honestly say, financially, it's the most money I've made in my life financially, and then on a bigger level, the most fulfilling life that I've lived. Everything I'm doing now is very fulfilling, even to the point the money is as much of a capitalist as I am, is increasingly secondary because I make more than enough to take care of my essentials, still have extra money, and then still I can put most of it in my saving. And I was thinking about that. I could have been doing this all along. And I remember when I was younger and doing other things for a living and had aspirations of doing other things, how, I didn't think about this, but people would tell me. They were like, "Hey, you should be doing this." Or "I see this in you." And I remember somebody very wise, it was a minister. It was like, "Rom, you could be a billionaire with your talent." But I didn't see it. I didn't see it. And then, but it was always there. It was always there from the time I was very young. When I look back at my life, I'm like, you know what? The stuff I really, being in a school play, writing a story when I'm 7 years old, just for my own edification and everything, it was always there, being in front of people, speaking in front of people. Everything that I'm doing now that I honestly take for granted, I've always been doing it. But then I was always looking at other stuff for businesses. Basically, the talent was always there. And, the ability, the skill level, the gifts to do what I'm doing now, to do what I'm excelling at, was always there. But I didn't recognize it. But now that I do, one of the things that I do just in general, and that's why I do a lot of inspirational stuff, I want people to see that it's in you all along. I want y'all to think about it. I want everybody to think about what you've done in life. That it's like it clicked with you. You just felt good about it. And it's like you might not have thought about it because, quite frankly, we live in a society that try to say, "Oh, you got to do this to make money. You got to do this. Oh, this is the latest thing. Oh, yeah, you got to." You know what? I was about to call the name of something, but then about 15 people get in the comments and say, "Oh, no, yes, you can do that." No. But here's the thing. That's just normal. There's always somebody trying to tell you and everything. Now, sometimes if they can see your talent, they're telling you correctly, but then that get drowned out of everybody saying you could do everything else. "Oh, you got to work at this business, this government office. You need to be doing that. Oh, this the hot thing now." But what you're supposed to do and your talent is already in you. It is already in you, and it's always been there. And like I said, sometimes you use it and you do it, but you might not think about it because you're so used to it. But then you got something else going on. Where you might not see it at all, and it might be an accident. And I always remember this gentleman. I think I told this story a few years ago. It was a guy that I was acquainted with. I actually knew his wife and her family way better. And, his wife and her family, they had a program for young men in the D.C. area just to play sports, a sports program, something very positive because I had played with them. And they had started a basketball program and they needed a coach. So this woman's husband became a coach. And he said it brought so much out in him, so much out. And it'd be interesting to see where the boys that he coached, what did they do with life? See, I'm gonna be real. You know what we're meant to do is always there, but we just have to find it. We have to find it. The talent, whatever, and every single one of y'all got talent. There's no exceptions. No exceptions. In fact, I think deep down, I think on a deep level, that's why a lot of people they know the talent is there on a deep level. Their spirit know it's there, but they not using it or they can't use it. They can't get into what they're really good at, like really good at, and it drives them crazy. And it should, because like I said, we live in a society always saying something else, or even making money. Like when people say make money, people get so much into what they think of make money, and they could have the talent to be great. I mean, no telling how many musicians we had out there who would have been great, how many singers we had out there, how many artists, how many writers, how many painters, or not even in just those arts, how many, people who could really landscape, or how many people who could seriously build a house, how many cooks, how many leaders, no telling how many places somebody has that leadership ability, but because of circumstances, it might not be as obvious, or teachers, just so many things, but we just don't know, because it's in you. Every single one of you is in you. When I look back in my life, I say, you know what? I wish I had discovered this, or there was some guide that could really point me in the way. But one thing, when I look back at it too, one of the things that was a problem is there was always a naysayer. See, that's one of the biggest things. Because now I'm looking back at it, and I was like, no matter what I did, it was good at it. There was always somebody who had an issue with it. But that's part of life too. Somebody's always going to be jealous. Somebody's going to have an issue. Somebody's going to shut you down. And one of the things I would say, even now, let's try to listen to the voices of those who are truly encouraging you. And not just encouraging just to be supportive, but they see the talent. And they like, nah, that's what you should be doing. Or I can think of a lot of times to the point, I'll just say there's certain people, if I'm ever in their face, I'd stick it to them. You'd see petty Rom, because I said, yeah, you had this issue, but look where I am now. Boom. So I want y'all to think about that. It's in you. Now, I started off talking about it was in me all along, but like I said, I'm climbing the mountain with you. I'm giving an example. I ain't saying do as I say and not as I do. I went through it. I don't want y'all to go through it. I want y'all to look in the mirror and say, okay, what am I really good at? And go for it, okay? Because it's in you right now. Okay? So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.